Good morning students. I welcome you all to class 9 and today we are going to learn chapter 15, that is improvement in our food resources, and this lesson is basically from class 9. So before going to start this lesson, just I want to ask you a simple question. What is that one thing that fuels your body? What is the thing that is required by all the living organisms, and what is the thing because of which we work? So the answer for all these three questions is a single word, and that is food. So we'll start with our topic, and this lesson will start with the concept of food, because this lesson is improvement in food resources. So what is actually a food? Food is an organic substance which is required by the living organism to carry out its basic life processes. So we'll see what are the nutrients which are present in food. See, food has the following nutrients present in it. Food has carbohydrate, fats, protein, vitamin and minerals. The other two, like carbohydrate and fats, they are known as energy giving food, because their mainly role is to provide energy to our body. Next comes the protein. Protein is known as, or it is categorized as, bodybuilding food because it helps in repairing, it helps in formation of new cells, new body organs, and it is basically involved in all the building process and it makes the body. Therefore, it is classified as bodybuilding food. So we are left with vitamins and minerals. Vitamin and minerals, they are classified as protective food because they have their role in variety of chemical reactions. They are needed by body in small amount, but they have a very crucial role in our body. They help to they help the body to fight against the disease causing agent, and therefore they prevent our body from deficiency diseases. So all the nutrients are the components of the food. So why food is required? The first importance of food is that food, because it fuels our body, because it fuels our body, therefore it is needed to provide us energy, and this energy is needed by the living organisms for maintaining life and for growth and maintaining a healthy body. So this is all about food. In this lesson, improvement in food resources, we are going to learn what are the steps that have been taken and will be taken for the improvement in food resources. So before going to the content of the lesson, let me give you information what are the major sources of our food. So the sources of food are either it may be a plant or it may be an animal. We consume plant in variety of forms. We actually consume the products which we obtain from plants. In a similar way, we obtain the products from that we get from animals. We rear animals, we domesticate animals for variety of uses, for milk, for getting wool, for getting honey. So we have variety of uses, variety of substances that are produced if we rear the animals. And for increasing the food, for increasing the sources of the food, for getting more food, we have to mainly depend on agriculture and animal husbandry. In agriculture, we grow variety of crops, vegetables, fruits to fulfill our needs, and in animal husbandry, we normally rear and take care of animals that we can keep in our house or we can keep it in farm. So we get crops, vegetable and fruits from agriculture, and we get the products that we obtain from animals by keeping and rearing of animals under animal husbandry. See students, many efforts have been done by our country and the countries all around the world to increase the production of food. But all over India, we have a problem that is existing, and that is growing at an alarming rate, and that is population. So we'll see how population is related to production of the food grains. See here, we have enough food resources which is stored either in godowns or in the warehouses. Warehouse is the place where the food grains which after harvesting are kept properly under controlled conditions of moisture, temperature and humidity. So we actually what happens, we have enough amount of grain and food, but if we see India is a populated country, and the population of India has crossed more than 1 billion people, and it is still growing. So to feed that much amount of population, what we have to do, we have to increase our food production. One way to this problem is that we can increase our farming lands. So we'll see what is the solution to this problem of population increase. The first solution we may get is to increase the land for cultivation. See, if we have more land, we will get more product. So actually the amount of land which is available for agriculture, it is directly proportional to the amount of product that we get from the land. But the problem here again is that India is already intensively most of the part of India is already under agricultural farming. We don't have the scope of increasing the agricultural lands. So what to do? We will look to some other methods how we can increase our food production, because India is already, we have enough land and we have much amount of land which is already used in agriculture. So the second is that we have to increase the efficiency of production, and this efficiency of production, we have the same piece of land, we cannot increase them, but from the same piece of land we can increase the efficiency of food production. How it can be done? It can be done by using by a combined product obtained from both agriculture and animal husbandry. It means that all the products that we get from agriculture we are getting, but if we improve our field in animal husbandry, if we try other methods, new improved methods to improve the products or to improve our animal husbandry, we get a combined product of both agriculture and animal husbandry. So we have to combine agriculture with livestock. Livestock is the domestication of the animals, like we have cow and buffalo, we can get milk from it. We have poultry, and from poultry we get chicken and egg. Then we can rear sheep. From sheep we can get wool, and we can rear honeybees. From honeybees we get a very important product, and that is honey. And at last we can also go for fish farming. Fish is an important source of protein. So like that, the rearing of many such animals are possible. So we have to improve our methods which are being used in the field. So we have to combine our agriculture with the livestock or animal husbandry. Next we'll see the one more solution that we can do to increase our production is to use the sustainable practices. These sustainable practices, we'll study what are these sustainable practices, we'll study later. So it is not that India has not done so far. If you look back to our history, India has done much, and we have very good scientists which have done so much work and who have done so much hard work that we are finding their result now. For example, if you look back to history, we have Green Revolution. Green Revolution, we had Green Revolution. Then, in a similar way, we had White Revolution, then Yellow Revolution, and Blue Revolution. India has gone through these revolutions. So let us discuss what are these revolutions and what are the effects of these revolutions in the field of agriculture. So first, Green Revolution. Green Revolution is actually a program which is not only done in India, but it is done all over the world to increase the food production by using modern technology, by proper irrigation and improved seeds. So if we use modern technology, we can increase the production, and if we use the new methods for irrigation, if we give proper water to plant, then they will start at the right time and they will start producing food at the right time. And similarly, if we take the use of improved seeds, then we'll definitely have a higher yield. So India has seen Green Revolution, and Green Revolution was basically the crops that were grown under Green Revolution was wheat, rice, and cereals. So this Green Revolution was done in India. Similarly, there were other programs also which were done in India. So we'll look to them also. We had White Revolution. White Revolution, as the name suggests, it is the increase in milk production. And the next one is Yellow Revolution. Yellow Revolution is for increase in pulses. See, this yellow word actually came from the bright yellow flowers of mustard. If you have seen, we have many Indian film songs which are being played in the mustard field. So from there we have taken that color we have taken, and we have named that yellow color. So this Yellow Revolution basically deals with the increase in production of pulses. Next is Blue Revolution. Blue means water. So where there is increase in the fish production and all the small animals which are present in the water and which can be consumed by the living organism. So there was definitely this program has led to a great success in India, and definitely there was an increase in food production, and our warehouses and godowns are now fulfilled because of the result of these revolutions. But you should also know what are the actual in addition to the increase in production, what are the other results due to these types of revolution like green, yellow, blue and white. So we'll see these revolutions have increased our natural resources because of these revolutions, our natural resources are getting used at a higher rate because we want to increase our production. Therefore, we are using our natural resources like soil and water too much in quantity. And because in these type of revolution, because we are using modern technology, modern methods of agriculture, therefore we are in these revolution great amount of nutrient, and which type of nutrient that were present in fertilizers were used. So increased use of fertilizers, increased use of pesticides harm the soil because both of them are chemical. The pesticides, the weedicides used and the fertilizers used in these revolutions, they are problem to the soil because they are not natural substances and they degrade the soil. They also change the pH of the soil, and sometimes they also kill the friendly microbes which are present in the soil. So we have increased our production, crop production, but at the same time we have we are using our natural resources at a higher rate. Next is because of these revolutions, the balance of nature is disturbed, because we are changing the natural environment of air, soil and water. Therefore, because of these revolutions, the balance of the nature was disturbed. So now what is the next solution to this? Of course, this is a success to us, but we should switch to sustainable practices. Now, again coming to the third point, sustainable practices are such programs or practices or activities which increases the production without harming the environment and without foreclosing the needs of future generation. So we have to think our future generation also. Whatever we want to use, we can use, but at the same time we have to think for the environment also. What harm we are creating to environment? Are we storing any such substances for the future generation to come? So whenever we want to do such programs to increase the productivity, we should always consider our environment and the future generations which are yet to come. So certainly we are enough with our food resources which are present in our godown and warehouses, but there is again a problem. Are all the people which are present in the country, they are able to get these substances, these products which are present in our godown? And the answer to this is a big no. Why? Because there is a problem of malnutrition and hunger. See, India is a populated country, but if we see the problem of India, a major part of India is malnutrition. It means malnutrition means taking less amount of nutrients in the body. We may have seen several times in the TV that small children, they are lean and thin. Why? Because they are not getting proper nutrients in their body, and that is malnutrition. And what is the reason behind hunger and malnutrition? The reason behind hunger and malnutrition is poverty. So the major part of India, or many people, there are many people in India who don't have enough money to buy the food. So what will do with the food resources which are present in our godown? If people cannot have money, if the people don't have money to buy it. So the next is money to purchase. See, if the people are poor, if we have poverty, then people don't have money to buy the food which are present in our godown. The next is that how to overcome this problem of malnutrition and hunger, or the lack of money, can be solved by increasing the income of people working in agriculture. See, in India, if we look to the type of product form, we will see that India is an agricultural based country. So most of the population in India is from the agricultural background, and they are farmers. And not all farmers are rich. Many farmers don't have enough money to buy the improved varieties of seeds, or to have modern methods of irrigation, or to use equipment for modern technology. So we have to do efforts to increase the income of people working in agriculture. We have to provide them jobs. We have to see the alternative methods how we can give income to them, and not only to them. Our government have to take steps to solve the problem of hunger, malnutrition and poverty. Then only the food which is present in our godown and warehouse can be easily reached to the people. See, we were learning about sustainable practices. In this lesson, we will later on will learn what are the sustainable practices which are being done in India. See, for how can we increase the income of people who are working in agriculture? The solution to this is switching to scientific management practices. And the scientific management, we have three different types of scientific management practices by which we can increase the income. And these three scientific management practices are mixed farming, intercropping and integrated farming practices. But there is much to study about these 3 points that we'll study in our the upcoming classes. So students, let us have a recap what we have learned today. The first point that we have learned is what is food, why food is required by our body, and students, we have learned what is the need for improvement in food resources. Then we have learned the sources of food are plants and animals, and these sources we can get from agriculture and animal husbandry. Then we have seen how the problem of population is directly linked with production. Then we have seen whether how much agricultural fields we have to increase our productivity. And we have also learned about the types of revolution, what steps have been taken by Indian government to increase the production of food, which was a miracle for us, and we are now in a position to get food because of these revolutions in India. See students, you have a homework. You just have to find the name of the person to whom the credit of Green Revolution goes in India. So there is a man behind the Green Revolution in India, and you have to find the name of that particular person, that particular famous person. Then students, we have also learned what are some of the results which of the revolutions which have taken in India for the crop production, for the food production. Then we have seen why the food which are present in our godown and warehouses cannot reach all the people, and that food which is stored cannot reach all the people because of malnutrition, hunger and poverty. Then we have also seen that some of the people who are in India, they do not have enough money to buy because they are related to farming practices and their income is very less. So how can we increase the income? We can increase the income of all the people who are involved in the field of agriculture by switching to some scientific practices methods, and which are mixed farming, adopting intercropping and integrated farming practices. These 3 practices we are going to learn in the next classes. So students, hope you have enjoyed today's class. The next class will do further and in the upcoming region.